Well, maybe it'll work. Okay, this is like the fifth time is a charm. I know this is a powerful message. It's probably why it continues to be interrupted. So let me pray over this thing. Boom! Let me tell you guys, for those of you that hung in here, you're going to be glad you hung in here, because I have never heard any of the gurus or sages speaking about what I'm about to speak about today. So first of all, let me apologize if you've been interrupted again and again and again. This is like the fourth time that I have played this, and it has literally broken and interrupted. So there's obviously a great message in this. I'm probably going to end up boosting it all over the place. Please feel free to share it with your friends. So let me go with this concept for you real quick. I love attacking the sacred cows. The sacred cows, the things that society and people put in very high regard and expect that everybody's just going to follow suit with and believe along with. I love killing those sacred cows. I love talking about marriage, about parenting, about finances, about your career, about your potential. I love talking about formal education versus a self-education that's ongoing and continual. And today I'm going to address another sacred cow, and I can't wait to tell you about it, because obviously this thing's been interrupted over and over and over again. So let's just dig right in and let's go. I don't need any of that rah-rah-rah crap. I don't need that rah-rah-rah. I mean, it's just, don't go to that event because it's rah-rah-rah. Don't go see that thing because it's rah-rah-rah. Don't go listen to that speaker because it's just a bunch of rah-rah-rah. I don't need no rah-rah-rah. You guys have heard that before, right? You might have even said it before. I may have even said it before in my youth. I may very well have said it before, but I know you've heard it before. Whenever there's an idea or conversation around motivation or inspiration where somebody is passionate and intense and highly committed to personal growth and personal development, or these events come to your town or to your city, or you have an opportunity to go listen to a speaker, you will hear the masses say, "Oh, I don't need any of that rah-rah. I don't need any of that rah-rah-rah crap, man. That's just a bunch of crap. Them dudes just want your money, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's just a bunch of rah-rah-rah crap. I don't need that." You guys have heard it, right? So follow this with me. You definitely don't need all that rah-rah-rah crap. If you are playing small, if you're a chicken, if you're mediocre, if you don't care about growing to the maximum level, and if you are not currently maximizing your performance and doing everything you can to be all that you can be and should be in this life, well then rah-rah-rah is not the message for you. See, where people mess this up and they identify this rah-rah-rah with this high energy or this high intensity, here's what you've got to understand. Think about where you see professional cheerleaders. Where do you see professional cheerleaders? Where do you hear rah-rah-rah going on? Where do you see it happening? You know where you see it happening? You know where you see the real rah-rah-rah going on, the real stuff? You see it at professional events. You see it at professional events, professional athletes, professional football players, professional basketball players. You see them at events all over the place, marathons, where people are cheering people on. You see, well, I don't need any of that rah-rah-rah. Of course you don't, because nobody rah-rah-rahs mediocre lamenicity. And yes, I just did create that new word, lamenicity, a state of being or walking in lameness. When you are performing at the basic level as a baseline, rah-rah-rah is not a message for you. You don't deserve rah-rah-rah. It's not even part of what the dialogue is in your head in your life, because you know you're performing at a mediocre level, and to be in a rah-rah-rah environment, there's no need for that. Ain't nobody going to rah-rah-rah mediocre. Ain't nobody going to rah-rah-rah just doing the bare minimum. You've seen it on every bottle of vitamins where it says this is the minimum daily requirement. Take this, a minimum daily requirement. And most people, if they had a label on the back of their neck when they went to work, or when they went home to their marriage partner, or when they were working with their children, or when they were serving, would basically have a label that said, I'm going to give my minimum daily requirement, just my minimum daily requirement. So those that say, I don't need any of that rah-rah-rah crap, it's because you don't deserve and you haven't earned the right to have rah-rah-rah be spoken around you, because someone who is not performing their very best does not need that extra push. You see, people associate the rah-rah-rah with people trying to motivate you. That's not it at all. When I interview coaching clients for the first time, one of the questions on my coaching questionnaire is, what do you think coaching is? Well, I want somebody to motivate me and kick my butt. Steve Collins does not do that. That is not who I spend time with. No, sir. That's like a bowling ball saying, I could knock down them pins if somebody would pick me up and throw me really hard. I could knock those pins down. That is not who I'm looking for. I'm not looking to raise the dead. I'm looking to serve the hungry. And the hungry are ready for rah-rah-rah because they are giving their very best. They are doing their very best. They are performing their very best. They are serving their very best. And when you are giving the very best that you can, sometimes you need a little push. Sometimes you need a little breakthrough, especially if you're having a breakdown. So what I'm looking for bowling balls flying down the path towards the pins, and I can be whoop, those bumpers that pop up on the side to keep you out of the gutter and keep you going straight and keep you moving forward. That's where the rah-rah-rah comes out. I don't need no rah-rah-rah. Well, you're damn right you don't need no rah-rah-rah because you ain't doing nothing that would activate rah-rah-rah in your life. You know the thing I love about CrossFit more than anything? The greatest cheers and the loudest support are for those who are finishing last. Let me say that again. The greatest cheers, the greatest rah-rah-rah, and the greatest support is reserved for those who are coming in last. Do you know why? Because last place in CrossFit beats first place on the couch eating your Doritos. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is a community of people who come together to perform and give the very best they can, as evidenced by flopping down on that mat after they have done everything in their power to give their very best. That's when rah-rah-rah shows up. When you see a professional athlete on the field pouring out everything they can, every ounce of energy inside them, going for it full time, hardcore, every now and then a cheer pushes you a little bit further. Every now and then a rah-rah-rah pushes you a little bit further. Every now and then that motivation, that inspiration is not activating that for someone to perform. It is coming alongside them to support them in that performance and giving the very best that they have in that moment. Of course you don't want rah. I wouldn't go to that class. It's just a bunch of rah-rah-rah. Well, that's because you're lame. Think, McFly. Think. It's because you're being lame. It's because you're being chicken. It's because you're not even in the arena. You are in the stands watching what's going on instead of getting in there and taking a risk and making your life as big as it can possibly be made in service to others. I'm not talking about a selfish personal growth that's just all about you. Your ability to break through your barriers and your ability to follow the dreams in your heart and to conquer the fears that are preventing you from moving forward, those very things inside of you are not even about you. It's so much bigger than you. You know, I heard the other day someone was talking in a church environment about how sad it is when individuals will not fulfill their potential, how sad it is for that person. And the person was saying, you know, I just find it sad that there are so many people who because of fear will not fulfill their destiny and their purpose in this life. And I feel bad for them because they walk around empty and hurting, and sure, they may be smiling and they may have cute filters on Facebook and stuff. And yet there's an emptiness inside that can't be filled by anything they've tried to fill it with because they're gripped with fear, and how sad it is for those people. And I looked over at my wife. I said, I'm not sad for those people at all. And she said, that's harsh. I said, I know it sounded harsh, but follow me. I'm not sad for those people. I'm sad for the hundreds of people who have been assigned to that person's life. Their children, mother, father, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, co-workers. I'm sad for the hundreds of people connected to that person's life who are going to be robbed of the blessings intended for them through that person stepping up to the plate and making a difference and going for it. Do you hear what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel bad for them, but not nearly as bad as the 100+ other people that are going to be affected by that person's being gripped with fear and not pursuing what is in their heart to pursue because of fear. Do you hear what I'm saying? I don't want to go to that rah-rah-rah. They used to tell Zig Ziglar all the time. They would tell Zig, I don't believe in motivation because motivation doesn't last. And he would say, well, sweetie pie, neither does bathing, which is why I recommend it daily. You don't go to the rah-rah-rah stuff to necessarily get motivated. It is the motivated, the aggressive, the intense, the dream chasers, those who are putting themselves on the line that attract an environment that says, rah, rah, man, come on, you can do it. You got this, let's go. It's not the lame, mediocre performers that attract a rah, rah, rah environment or can even be in a rah, rah, rah environment. Can you imagine sucking at what you do so bad and you're very lame and being around cheering? It's just not right. You don't cheer for mediocre. You don't cheer for mediocre. I don't need that rah, rah, rah crap. Well, you don't need the rah, rah, rah crap. You know why? Because you don't deserve the rah, rah, rah because you're not performing. When you are performing at your highest level, when you are pouring the very best that you have, and when you are digging in deep and you are wiping the sweat and blood from your eyes and you're dealing with the checkbook that may be upside down for a season while you're building something new, while you're dealing with the naysayers and the haters who don't believe in the dream that's in your heart and you're pushing through, rah, rah, rah sounds very, very different to you. Cheerleaders on the professional level are cheerleading champions who are pouring out the very best they can pour out, who are giving the very best they can give, who are leaving everything on the field. That's where the real rah, rah, rah comes in. If you find yourself saying, I don't need that rah, rah, rah crap, let me give you some new language. Start saying, I don't deserve that rah, rah, rah crap. I don't deserve rah, rah, rah because, you know, I'm like that vitamin bottle. I got a label on my back that says minimum daily requirement. I'm just giving my minimum daily requirement. I'll show up at that time, but I'm leaving right at this time, and I'm just going to do what they tell me to do, and I'm not going to do any more than that because they don't pay me enough. Whatever. Listen to Zig Ziglar's wisdom. If you do more than you're paid to do, eventually you'll be paid more for what you do. If you're waiting for more pay to start performing, it don't work like that. That's like the wood standing in front of the stove saying, light a fire and warm up, and then I'll jump in there so you can burn me. But warm me up before I jump in there. It doesn't work like that. That's like walking up to a water pump and hoping the water comes out without cranking that pump. You got to crank, you got to put something into it to get out of it. So the next time you hear, I don't need that rah, rah, rah crap, let's change the language and say, you don't deserve that rah, rah, rah crap. You don't deserve it because rah, rah, rah is not designed to wake you up and turn you into something different. Rah, rah, rah is the cheers, the camaraderie, the fellowship, the encouragement, the inspiration in an environment of high performance that pushes you to a place that rah, rah, rah becomes the environment you live in. Cheers are for the champions. Cheers are for the overcomers. Rah, rah, rah is for those in the ring performing. You don't need rah, 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 or you don't deserve rah, rah, rah. Are you showing up with that label on your back, a minimum daily requirement? Or are you committed to showing up each day, giving your maximum daily effort? Only you can decide. Don't need that rah, rah, rah crap. I charge you. Don't deserve the rah, rah, rah. Nobody gets the real rah, rah, rah until they're laying everything they can on the line every day, pouring out the very best they can, not holding anything back, recognizing that the bigger and better you get, it ain't even about you. It's about the hundreds and possibly thousands and maybe, I dare to say, millions of people whose lives will be changed by you breaking through. Ladies and gentlemen, no one else is going to do it for you. You have to decide, and I hope today's the day you decide to step into that ring with the champions. Have a great day, guys.